Steve Jobs almost prevented the iPhone from being created, and contrary to popular myth, the iPhone was not Steve Jobs' brainchild. Apple had done a massive turnaround with the iPod, but by 2007, iPod was going to be disrupted by mobile phones like Nokia 5310 that could play music. And iPods were almost half of Apple's revenue, you know that, right? Tony Fadell, the designer behind the first iPhone, said we had the music player doing video and audio and photo. We had iTunes. Then future phones came out. They started playing MP3, and now this was an holy shit moment. Phones could steal everything we were doing. What could we do to counter this? Now, this is a story where iPhone was not built by Steve Jobs as they say, rather it was built by a team. Jobs was against building phones for two reasons. One, Steve Jobs did not want to go through the orifices to get to the end users. By orifices, he meant carriers like Verizon and AT&T, which had final say over which phones could access their networks. Second, Jobs wasn't convinced that the emerging smartphone category was going to be a wide market. He believed it would not go beyond the pocket protector crowd, also known as the nerds. So instead, they decided to partner with Motorola to create the iTunes phone, the Moto Rocker E1, and it bombed. Steve was still not convinced about building a phone, but his team was. And unknown to even Steve, the team started building the iPhone. They gutted an iPod, added Wi-Fi, and got the internet to run on the iPod. Steve's reaction was something like, "This is bullshit." Steve didn't really see the path to success here. However, two Apple veterans, Mike Bell and Steve Sakoman, continued to lobby with the Steve Jobs for months. They were convinced that the computers, music players, and cell phones were heading towards an inevitable convergence. On November 7, 2004, Bell sent an email to Jobs, and it stated, "Steve, I know you don't want to do a phone, but here's why we should do it. John Ives have some really cool designs for the future iPods that no one has ever seen. We ought to take one of those, put some Apple software around it, and make a phone ourselves instead of putting our stuff on other people's phone." Jobs called him right away and debated for hours and hours and hours. Finally, he relented and agreed to build a phone. Now here, after Steve Jobs got convinced about building a phone, there are three lessons in this story. Now what is that? First of all, the lone inventor myth. Far too often we believe it's one single person's will that forged a great product, often forgetting that the countless incredible nameless people that work behind the scenes making some of the world's best product. Even visionaries always don't have the best vision of the future, but a great team can, probably help to see the future better. And the third one, it takes a lot of lobbying and story selling to get people to buy into your narrative. Far too often I see people give up just having pitched their idea barely a few times. It sometimes takes months, even years to sell a game-changing story. Now with these three stories, we don't know how much people who are working along with us as a team are so important to build a greatest product in the world. If you like my work, please do like, share and subscribe. And if you were still here, please do share it among your friends and families. And please do help me build my channel. And also do let me know in the comments what kind of content do you like on my channel. Thank you.